President Trump has filed a $20 billion with a B lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal and conservative media giant Rupert Murdoch.
If you'd picked up the Wall Street Journal and you read it every day in March and April, you would have believed that Donald Trump had destroyed the U.S. economy, that it was dead, that we were going to be in a trade war, we were going to be in a stock collapse, we were going to, it was just the budget, everything was going to be terrible. That was pretty much the news division.
Yeah.
And that didn't turn out to be true.
Yeah.
They're not going to have much to do on the border. The wall's going to be completed. That's going to pull people off the border into the interior. They already had 1.5 million people who have been adjudicated. They already have got their deportation orders. It's not controversial. They've got 500,000 people. They're making progress. And then they have this self-deportation that the experts told us would never work. You get $1,000, you get a free trip back to wherever you came from, and you get to apply, and you're not banned from re-entering legally. But if you wait it out to the bitter end, and you get deported, you're not going to be able to come back legally, at least for a long time. More important, they're going to get a lot more resources.
They told us the nation was collapsing, economically, socially, morally. Headlines screamed that the system was broken beyond repair. But behind the noise, something very different was unfolding. In this explosive breakdown, Victor Davis Hanson cuts through the manufactured chaos to expose the truth the elites never wanted you to see. The border isn't lawless. It's being secured, piece by piece. Deportations aren't a myth. They're quietly reshaping the landscape. And that so-called economic collapse, it's now looking more like a carefully crafted illusion. Trump, once dismissed as reckless and doomed to fail, might have been closer to the mark than anyone dared to admit. And with clarity and precision, Hanson pulls back the curtain on the deception, challenging us to reconsider not just what we've been told, but who benefits from the lie.
The only thing I hope that I don't wish, because I'm not as capable as the people advising Trump, but they need to strategize how to deflect, and I don't mean deflect in the sense of, oh, we're so worried what they say. I mean like neuter the criticism so that the public understands and appreciates what they're doing. And by that I mean take illegal immigration. We forget that the 12 million that Biden let in, that was on top of what a lot of studies said were 20 million, right? And out of that 20 million, there were estimates. That was what Obama's dreamers. There were a large number of people who have now been here, 10 years since Trump went down the escalator. So some of these people have been in the United States 10, 20 years undocumented, number one. I know many people that surprise me in my community will tell me that they're illegal. I cannot believe it. They speak perfect English. They've got jobs, they've never committed a crime, and they're not on public assistance. It seems to me not to reward them, but if Trump said, we're going to get all 12 million that just came out, we're going to get all the criminals out, we're going to get all the people who have deportation orders out, we're going to encourage self-deportation, we're going to get all the people who have broken laws out, we're talking about DUI and all, we're going to get all the people who are able-bodied, who are on public assistance. We're going to get all the people who just arrived. I think we got about 30 million people here illegally. I think the statistics, if you examine and break it down, would support that number given what Biden did. Then if Trump said, while he was going to do all that, he said, you know what? If a guy's here for more than 5 years, take an arbitrary number, no criminal arrests, fully employed, and he wants to stay here, he's not going to get a citizenship from me. He's going to get no amnesty, but he can apply for a green card if he pays a fine, $1,000, $2,000, I don't know. And I think that would deflate, that would make the left look really bad. Because what would they do? They'd say, well, he's rounding up people. And he's saying, no, I'm only rounding up people who just jumped over the border, or they're conning the social welfare system, and a lot of things Trump does, people don't think it through. Like when you start deporting people, you don't just get rid of 500,000 people that commit crimes. And as a lot of people pointed out, John Lott and others, there is a correlation between deporting hundreds of thousands of criminals and a drop in crime. And that has financial benefits for the economy, as does removing people who are sending part of the $63 billion in remittances, not just to Mexico, but another $60 billion to Central America. And people are talking about it might be $500 billion all over the world. When you remove those people, there's all sorts of these insidious advantages that accrue from that economically. And if he were to do that, I don't think the left could. I think it would really hurt them before the midterms. They'd say, wow, he's not I have to defend people who either just came in under Biden and swarmed the border. I got to defend people who were not working and they're conning the system. I got to defend people who are criminals. And then these other people are getting a chance. And so I think you don't want to reward people who broke the law, but you can make them pay a fine and you can get them into the system. And that would help them as well. And then the same thing on energy. He's doing such a great job with oil and natural gas and nuclear. And he can really make that case and say, we're not going to take valuable farmland and we're not going to take valuable shorefront property and put these ugly windmills out in the ocean or along the beach, and we're not going to do it on mountain passes. We're not going to take Manning Avenue near me. We're not going to put on thousands of acres of farmland out of production for these solar, when we're going to do clean, small nuclear plants, decentralized. He can really talk about the environmental effects of environmentalism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this video, Victor Davis Hanson exposes how media narratives often clash with on-the-ground realities. While the press declared economic collapse and border chaos, the opposite seems to be unfolding. What struck me most is how Hanson connects policy results with cultural denial, pointing out that we obsess over trivial offenses while ignoring major societal decay. His perspective challenges us to rethink what we prioritize as a nation. Whether one agrees with Trump's methods or not, the uncomfortable truth is that many of his warnings are now being validated by reality.